If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The sports world was rocked recently by a potentially explosive rumor involving Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns star quarterback. Reports have emerged suggesting that Watson might have tested positive on an anti-doping test, sparking immediate speculation about the possible consequences he could face. The news, although still unconfirmed by official league sources, has stirred a wave of chatter among fans, analysts, and insiders, all trying to piece together what this means for Watson's career and the Browns season. The mere suggestion of a positive doping test for a player of Watson's caliber is enough to shake the foundations of the NFL landscape, especially considering the intense scrutiny the league places on performance-enhancing substances. Could this be a misunderstanding, or is there something more sinister at play? The situation remains fluid, with many waiting anxiously for the NFL's formal announcement, but the whispers growing louder suggest a potential ban could be looming on the horizon. For Watson, this rumor, if true, threatens to not only derail his personal career trajectory, but also severely impact the Browns' offensive strategies, leaving a gaping hole at the quarterback position. Sources close to the situation have hinted that the positive test might come from samples collected during routine checks, which are mandatory and strictly regulated by the NFL's anti-doping policies. The league maintains a zero-tolerance stance against performance-enhancing drugs, and a positive result usually triggers an automatic investigation. This could lead to a suspension or ban depending on the substance involved and whether it is the first offense or not. The Browns, known for their strong support of Watson, could find themselves in a difficult position, caught between backing their player and adhering to league regulations. The ripple effect of this news is not limited to the team alone. It stretches throughout the league, as other franchises might reconsider their strategies when facing a Browns squad without its star quarterback. Meanwhile, fan reactions are pouring in, ranging from disbelief and disappointment to outright condemnation, reflecting how polarizing Watson's status has become in light of these rumors. Adding fuel to the fire, some insiders have speculated that if Watson's positive test is confirmed, the NFL might impose a ban extending beyond just a few games. The league has shown in recent years that it is willing to hand down severe punishments to high-profile players caught violating anti-doping, rules aiming to maintain the sport's integrity. For Watson, this could mean a multi-game suspension or even a full season ban, an outcome that would devastate the Browns' playoff hopes and potentially alter the trajectory of his career forever. The media frenzy has already begun, with pundits debating the implications of such a ban and whether the Browns have enough depth on their roster to compensate. The possibility of losing Watson for a significant period has sparked conversations about team morale, locker room dynamics, and the pressure on backup quarterbacks to step up under unexpected circumstances. As these rumors swirl, the Browns' front office has remained tight-lipped, fueling more speculation about internal investigations and damage control measures behind closed doors. From a broader perspective, this situation raises questions about the effectiveness and transparency of the NFL's anti-doping program. Fans and analysts alike wonder how such cases are handled behind the scenes and whether top players receive preferential treatment or face harsher scrutiny due to their prominence. The case of Deshaun Watson, if substantiated, could become a landmark incident, prompting the league to reassess its policies and public communication strategies. The balance between protecting the sport's integrity and preserving player reputations is delicate, and the handling of this case will likely set a precedent for future anti-doping violations. Meanwhile, the Browns fans are left grappling with uncertainty, their excitement for the season now overshadowed by a cloud of suspicion. Social media platforms have exploded, with theories some defending Watson's innocence, while others call for strict punishment to uphold fairness. The debate is fierce, highlighting the polarized nature of public opinion surrounding high-profile doping allegations in professional sports. The timing of this rumor couldn't be more dramatic, coming as the Browns are entering a critical phase in their schedule where every game counts. Losing Watson to a potential doping ban would force the coaching staff to rethink their offensive schemes and could lead to a major reshuffle in their game plans. Backup quarterbacks previously relegated to the sidelines would suddenly find themselves thrust into the spotlight with immense pressure to perform. This scenario has been the subject of intense speculation among NFL analysts who are dissecting every possible outcome and the Browns' ability to adapt. The organization's response in the coming days will be crucial, as they must balance protecting their players' interests with maintaining public trust. If the rumors hold true, the Browns might also face challenges in negotiations, sponsorship deals, and fan support, as doping allegations tend to cast a long shadow over a team's reputation. In this context, the stakes couldn't be higher, and the NFL community is watching closely how this drama unfolds. Meanwhile, whispers within the league suggest that Watson's camp might be preparing a legal defense to challenge the positive test results. This is a common strategy among athletes facing doping allegations as they seek to question the testing procedures, chain of custody, or the presence of contaminated supplements. Such defenses can sometimes delay or mitigate disciplinary actions, buying valuable time for the player and the team. However, these legal battles also draw out the controversy, keeping the player under intense scrutiny and often impacting their mental focus and performance. For Watson, who has already faced significant pressure as a top NFL quarterback, this situation adds a complicated layer to his professional and personal life. The Browns, for their part, may also be weighing the risks of public backlash versus standing by their quarterback during this turbulent period. This ongoing saga is far from over, and the NFL's next steps could have lasting implications, not only for Watson, but for the league's anti-doping enforcement as a whole. As the rumor mill churns, some sports journalists have pointed out that a positive doping test could explain certain on-field performances or physical conditions observed recently in Watson's games. Speculation is swirling about whether the use of banned substances could have enhanced his endurance recovery or strength, giving him an unfair advantage over opponents. While these claims remain speculative without official confirmation, they add a dramatic angle to the story, fueling debates about fairness and the integrity of competition. Critics argue that if Watson did use performance-enhancing drugs, it undermines the hard work and talent of countless other athletes who compete clean. On the other hand, supporters caution against rushing to judgment, emphasizing the need for due process and the presumption of innocence. This polarizing narrative highlights the high stakes involved, as careers, team dynamics, and fan trust hang in the balance amid these swirling rumors. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. The Browns coaching staff and management are reportedly in crisis meetings as they assess contingency plans should the worst case scenario materialize. The organization's leadership knows that losing Watson, even temporarily, could derail the season and necessitate a rapid reassessment of personnel training and tactical approaches. Backup players may receive more opportunities in practice sessions and pre-game preparations, while scouts and trainers might intensify their efforts to identify alternative solutions. The ripple effects extend beyond the field, with marketing teams, sponsors, and community relations departments bracing for potential fallout. Behind the scenes, players and coaches must grapple with the emotional and psychological toll of the uncertainty hanging over their star quarterback. This internal turmoil underscores how deeply intertwined a single-player situation can be with the broader ecosystem of a professional sports franchise. The Browns' response strategy will be scrutinized in the coming weeks as fans and media seek signs of resilience or signs of cracking under pressure. Speculation is also rife about how this scandal, if confirmed, might affect Watson's legacy in the NFL. Once viewed as a promising and talented quarterback with immense potential, Watson's reputation could suffer irreversible damage. History is replete with examples of athletes whose careers were marred or prematurely ended by doping controversies, casting long shadows over their achievements. The question now is whether Watson can recover from this storm, regain trust, and restore his standing among peers and fans. Redemption stories are possible, but they require time, transparency, and consistent effort. The Browns' role in supporting or distancing themselves from Watson will also play a crucial part in shaping public perception, as the rumor continues to spread. Discussions about ethics, sportsmanship, and accountability become more prominent, reflecting the broader cultural impact of doping scandals in professional sports. For now, the focus remains on awaiting official confirmation and watching closely how this gripping story unfolds. Mid this tense atmosphere, the NFL Players Association (NFLPA) has been quietly monitoring the situation, ready to advocate for Watson's rights if needed. The union often steps in during doping cases to ensure fair treatment, proper testing protocols, and due process for players accused of violations. Their involvement could add another layer of complexity to the case, potentially influencing the timeline and outcome of any disciplinary actions. Players' unions have historically been fierce defenders of athletes, sometimes clashing with league authorities over drug testing policies and punishments. The NFLPA's stance and actions in this case will be closely watched as they balance protecting their member while upholding the integrity of the sport. Watson's legal team and the union might collaborate to prepare appeals or negotiate settlements, aiming to minimize damage while maintaining transparency. This dynamic interaction between league player and union highlights the multifaceted nature of doping allegations and the intricate power plays behind the scenes in professional football. Finally, as the Browns and the NFL navigate this precarious situation, the broader football community is left to ponder the implications of such rumors on the sport's future. Anti-doping policies, player conduct, and league transparency are all thrust into the spotlight, forcing stakeholders to consider reforms or adjustments. For fans, the excitement of game day is now tinged with unease as the purity of competition comes into question. For aspiring athletes, Watson's rumored predicament serves as a cautionary tale about the risks and consequences associated with doping. For the league itself, this moment represents both a challenge and an opportunity to reaffirm its commitment to fair play and athlete welfare. As official statements and investigations unfold, one thing is clear. The saga surrounding Deshaun Watson's alleged positive doping test will reverberate through the NFL for months, if not years, shaping conversations and policies far beyond the immediate fallout. The sports world watches with bated breath, waiting for clarity, resolution, and perhaps a path forward amid the storm of speculation and rumor. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan and hit subscribe and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!